Okay, it says we are
And we are
live.
live.
Okay, hello, hello, hello. How's your mute button, Lord? Good?
It is great.
All right. Oh, hold on. Okay, so let's jump right into this. Okay, let's not waste much time because we are on for an hour. And we're going to talk about a little mini haul. We're going to talk about scaling your reselling business. We're going to talk about eBay geek out stuff that Laurie loves, and she's all into that. And plus, there's going to be quite Q&A. Anybody that's in the chat, questions, just ask anything. Seriously, anything that you have, eBay, reselling, Poshmark, shipping, listing, any type of questions. We've done this. We've been doing this full time for well over 5 years. Seems like 50. And we know everything. We've seen everything. We've been
We
burned.
don't
We've
know
learned.
everything. Sorry to interject. We do
Oh,
not know everything.
did I say we know everything?
Yes, you do.
Oh shoot, you know everything, not me.
No, I
Okay,
don't know.
we know combined. We know enough to make up almost 90%, and the remaining 10% we don't know. We'll just have to shoot an email to somebody at eBay or wherever.
Yeah.
So I did this last week. I started. I always love to show what I've been sourcing because everybody loves that because it's like Bolo, Be on the Lookout, all that funny stuff, and I mean, after a while, it's just like you tell me if you've seen some of these things. All right. I'm going to start holding them up. Here's the first thing.
What is? Oh, I know what that is.
Oh, okay. You
Wonder if anybody
do
else does. I do.
take, okay. What does it go to, Laura?
It goes to some sort of small kitchen appliance,
All right.
right? I don't know which
Yeah.
one though.
Okay.
Maybe. I can't remember exactly. That was it. Ninja.
There we go. Okay.
Yep.
So this is a Ninja lid. Right. So here we go. Look at this. It has the flap, Ninja lid, Ninja blender lid. So some people may be like, "Hey Dave, why don't you just get the whole jar? Why don't you just get the whole blender? Why, why?" And a lot of it is because these things, just the parts themselves, are easy to sell. People lose this and they want a replacement. They don't want the whole blender. They don't want the jar. And it just makes it very easy to sell these things because they're not going to be returned unless you describe it incorrectly with the wrong model number, or people get it and they're like, "Oh, it's too small, it doesn't fit." So I'm just going to scroll on this. I just typed in Ninja blender lid. I mean, I don't have the exact model number, but here we go. Here's one, 29 bucks, 30 bucks, free shipping. And then you get down here. It's like, look at somebody selling the
Right.
pitcher, the
Yeah.
jar
Uh-huh.
with the lid and the blade for
Mm-hmm.
39 bucks plus 17. So what you're essentially giving them is three items when they may only need one. So we've learned, and I just shared this with everyone. I think it's better off to sell these things just for the lids. When you start selling this jar, there's a connector underneath there that really has to be custom to the blender. We've sold many of those jars and they get returned because people are like, "Oh, it doesn't match up with my motor, the gear on the motor." Have you ever seen that on your account, Laura?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like they misunderstand what they need, and
Yeah.
now you've spent spent this money for all the shipping for the whole thing versus just the lid, which is way less.
Yeah.
So you're better off just kind of parting it out. I mean, you probably have also sh- uh, listed just the jar too for some of these things.
Yeah.
I remember, and
Yeah.
that makes sense sometimes too, just to do just the jar, just the top, maybe, and any other attachments that might go with it.
Angie said she probably wasn't going to jump on the call, but look at who jumped on. Angie. Hello,
Hi,
guys.
Angie.
Thank you so much for popping in. Angie's a good sport. She loves, and she adds a lot. We had a good conversation last week about FedEx and having UPS or FedEx package your items. I would definitely I would definitely go back and watch that because that was some good insight that we provided and we had learned within the last 2 weeks. So Angie says, "Dave, I love your hair." Oh, Laurie, I love your hair. Thank you. Um, Laurie's hair changes by the week. It's amazing.
By the
Look at that.
day, really.
Yeah, everybody. It's so odd.
Well, thank you, Angie.
And your hair was never curly until,
Not naturally. No, not
yeah.
until after we had the kids. It's very strange. And then I know some people who have naturally curly hair and their hair straightened
Yeah.
after they had kids. It was all hormone related.
So after the kids, your hair got curly and mine fell
It,
out.
yep, that's true.
About right. So she's waiting around at 2-year-old grandson's birthday party. What better little pre-party than hop on a YouTube live with Dave and Laurie? Reselling, is it Reseller Insights or Reselling Insights, Laura? What is the
I
name of
think
this
it
again?
reseller. I think we
Oh,
called it
Reseller Insights.
reseller insights.
Okay. Oh, either way. I mean, we had it live at 5, but as I mentioned, there's this really big guy that's twice my size in Philly that said, "Hey, that's the name of my show." It's like, whoa, okay. Even though he didn't care, it's fine. So,
Yeah.
so, so these are the type of things that we do, with the sourcing and getting things I just showed, like this Ninja blender lid sells for $30, including free shipping, with free shipping all day long. I love this stuff. I mean, this stuff is floating in a Goodwill bin. It's floating at a Goodwill store. It could, and even at a garage sale, if you go and you see somebody selling these, just the entire blender, there's a good chance that they may be missing parts, and you could get the entire blender for $5. And next thing you know, you're parting each part out for like $30. So
Right.
when in doubt, part it out. Chris
Yep.
from Texas Flip the World says that. He even said that when I posted something on Instagram last week. He goes, when in doubt, part it out. And that's true. Call it whatever you want. Cannibalize things, just rip it apart, but sell that stuff. It works well.
Yeah.
I don't have this up on a share screen, but this was in the bin. Wireless Xbox controller. Now, what jumps out when I flip this over, Laura, that
No
doesn't?
battery.
Okay, no battery cover.
Right. Oh, no. Is a battery in there or is it just
Yeah,
not the cover?
well,
I can't tell.
it's the cover really.
Oh,
So
okay.
so these things, if it's clean, a lot of these like little things right here, kids, chew on them, they're disgusting, right? They get nasty. This is clean, but it's missing the battery cover. You could order these battery covers for like $1.50 each. So what Laurie and I usually do is we stockpile um, uh, a bunch of these, and I'll just order like 20 battery covers from China. It takes a month or whatever. But what we do is we lot these up. We put 2 of these together and we sell them for like $35 or $30. It depends on, what the market's doing, but definitely we sold, I remember last week, 2 of these together, $30 all day
Yeah.
long.
And do you find that the wireless ones sell better than the wired ones?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
So to look for the wireless ones is a better deal.
Yeah.
Unless it's like maybe super, super vintage, like original PlayStation or something like that.
Yeah. Or like the Nintendo GameCubes.
Right.
Those things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing we find, especially me, like when I source at the bins, there's so many incomplete electronics and bits and pieces and parts that it really pays to just look everything up and you'd be surprised. Okay, let me go on and on and on. If you see a Walkman, whatever, right here, boom, always grab them. They're not going to be more than $5 at a garage sale, or even like this. I got this at the bin. This thing's a pound, so it cost me $1.50. I'm going
Really? That's a pound?
Ah,
That's a pound? That can't be a pound.
10 ounces?
It's under a pound.
I don't know. When in doubt, yeah.
It could have been a pound. That seems, I remember processing those. Those are pretty light.
Mhm.
So it was probably 50 cents maybe.
Yeah. I think, just here, bring this up. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. It's on. $29 plus shipping, $30 for something that weighs 10 ounces, 9 ounces.
Yeah, and those sold, they don't even have headphones. They have nothing. It's just, well, some of them have the belt. The belt clip.
Yeah,
I think
this
is always helpful. Yeah, that's helpful to have.
So this has the belt clip. Now, typically, something like this, if it sells for over $25, we'll sell it just the way it is. But sometimes these Walkmans, I never could say that. Walkmans, sometimes they do sell for like $20, and it's like, is it worth it? And what we do is we throw in a pair of headphones, and sometimes we sell in like, even if it's like a recorder, we sell in like a new wrapped cassette tape, just anything to kind of beef up the listing. And that's why I like eBay so much, because it's, you could really create value by bundling. I made a post last week on it on eBay, and it's like, that's why we like it, because we could put a bunch of $8 things together, and next thing you know, we have $35 item. So Laura, like Scott was back in Jersey. He's been asking me a lot of questions, because he's getting into the eBay thing, and he was able to go to an estate sale. They had a lot of fishing lure, new in package, and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And his approach was like, well, I looked up each like lure individually wrapped, and they're only going for like $3. How do I make money? And
Right, you got to
so
put them together.
you have exactly. So he's been doing that, and what's really cool about his approach to eBay is he's not trying to nail down the price, what everything really should sell at, but he's lotting things together. He's putting like 4 of those fishing lure that are new in package, and he's doing an auction. So he'll start it at 99 cents. This way he's learning like, hey, there's a market out there for these items, and people are running up the price. So, and I shared with them the fact that we've noticed over the years that things that are auction on eBay typically are, the percentage, don't you? Like,
Well, that depends on if it's a commodity item or
sure. Okay.
like a true collectible.
Okay.
Like, we deal in mostly commodities. So our experience is about 60% of what it would go for at about buy it now price. But if you're talking about, truly unique, sought after stuff, that 60%,
Yeah.
I don't really think
It's probably 90. Yeah, exactly. Like if you could try to get an iPhone, you're not going to get it for 60% on an auction. So what Laurie's saying is, we've found out that over the years that most of the time when you sell things on auction, most of the time unless it's a really highly sought after item like an iPhone and stuff like that, it's around 65%. You'll sell it at 65% of what it should go at buy it now. So what he's doing is pretty cool. He has so many of these new in package lure. So he's putting like 4 or 5 together, and he's starting it off at 99 cents, which is a strategy in itself that a lot of people say start it at 99, because it attracts a lot of people in, and then they get emotionally like into it. Like, I got to win. I'm not going to lose. And they run up the price quickly. So he's doing that, and he's learning a lot. So it's fun to see newbie eBayers, and he's hooked. He's loving it.
Just wanted to add something about this Walkman that you brought up here. It's so interesting that this one little thing that it costs less than $6, to ship most places, is like $35, $40. Right. And I mean, this is probably from the 80s, has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even, I don't even know if it has, the radio or whatnot. But what's interesting about those is they could go either way. They could be super, super expensive or hardly worth anything. So you always have to look them up.
Our favorite frugal fashionista, Deneen, popped in to say, hey guys, thank you for hopping in. You and Deneen will be meeting up in Philly in a week or two, right? 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be
less than 2 weeks, I think, by now, or Labor Day weekend.
Very cool. Thrift Con.
Thrift Con Philly.
Which is actually which is cool. I know they have them in Denver out here. I don't know exactly what type of resellers they attract, but who cares? I mean, it's fun. It's reselling and it's networking. So I'm anxious to see how it goes. Good for you guys.
Should be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Walkmans. I've sold some of the original ones that I find at the bins that are missing a battery cover, stuff like that, for like $150, $200 as is, parts repair only, because people are looking for props. They want to see the original. Like they call it, what is that? Galaxy, Guardian Galaxy. There's like
Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's it. They had these retro, like the original Walkman, and with the orange foam pads,
Hmm.
those are like cool. So
Yeah.
I had one of those and I looked it up when I found it at the bin. I'm like, wow, these things are like $200. It's like, so people, this is what happened. Trends, uh, you know, uh, what's it called? Trends happen. People get on board. They want to replicate what they're seeing. Yes. And love all your tips. Thank you very much. Yes. This is what we do. We talk business all day. Then we go home.
And talk
Lori,
more business.
yeah, Lori tries to decompress and watch TV, and I'm like, you know what I was thinking? And she looks at me and kind of rolls her eyes. She goes, "I'm not like you." And then sometimes I have a thought at 2, 3 in the morning. I wake up and you're sleeping. I want to wake you up and like tell you, like, I had
You
this
know,
idea.
even though I have a confession to make, I think I dreamt about
Me
work. Like, I
too.
think definitely last night, I'm like, oh man, it was not a good sleep though.
Yeah, I think I had the same dream. Yesterday was not. Yeah, we were busy yesterday.
Yeah.
We actually had to. We had to jump in. We did a lot of shipping for eBliss over the weekend. We had a surge of clients that had a lot of bundles on Poshmark, and so Lori and I pitched in. I think they dreamt about it. So yeah, ThriftCon in Philly, pretty cool. So that'll be neat. Good for you guys. That'll be. And
Yep.
the flight was not that bad from Denver out there, huh?
It was not. It was less than $300 round trip, nonstop.
Pretty good.
Can't pass that up.
Yeah. And we told Deneen like why you're really 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 excited because you're going out there to see a concert in Allentown a couple days before. Yeah. Hello, Sarah. Thanks for popping in.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, friends. That's awesome. eBliss is doing great. Thank you very much. Sarah was here a couple weeks ago. She saw our warehouse and it's coming along. It's filling up and we're excited. Thank you so much. Sarah, just to give a plug for Sarah. Sarah really knows numbers, and she, I think she majored in math, but you don't need to disclose that, Sarah. I don't want to embarrass. But her, and I know her husband really are into the numbers of reselling and tracking their numbers, knowing their numbers, and now Lori, you know our numbers pretty
Yeah,
well.
because we do that. We do that too, in a slightly different way. Sarah has a dashboard that you could use, you could benefit from. I kind of do it a little bit the old-fashioned way, primarily only because we sell on eBay. There's just the one platform. I mean, we have two separate accounts, so I do have to consolidate both of the information from both accounts, but it's just the one platform. For me, just to do it manually, it really is not that big deal. But if you cross list to lots of platforms, her dashboard would probably be very useful.
Yeah.
And if we did that, I probably would use it.
I think it was a year and a half ago. We had an eBay meetup out here in Denver. Lori and I had that up, and it was at a Perkins Pancake House, and
Yep.
yeah, pretty good pancakes. I remember it was like pumpkin spice pancakes that night. But anyway, I digress. But Sarah shared, she's like, I'm mainly on Poshmark, and I was like, I kind of looked down the table. I was like, imposters in the eBay meetup? What's going on? And imposters here. What do we do? Like. And I'm kidding, but she was saying how she knew her numbers so well that she wanted to start cross posting to eBay, and sure enough, eight months into 2020, I think her sales were like 75-25 eBay to Poshmark now, and it still works. I'm not going to get into her philosophy and theory on things, but I would follow her on YouTube, Sarah Styles LLC. A lot of great content, a lot of good data. She is someone that could help you track your numbers, find out where your sales are mostly happening and what categories, etc. So those are all things that sometimes people like me, it takes years to have this database in your head, which which I, me, if I don't have it here, I'm not going to study it. But so Sarah says, eBay is crushing Posh now. You have been so helpful in helping eBay. The meetups are very, very valuable. Thank you.
And we'll start hopefully getting them back up soon too. It's on my list of things to do. Just have been up in the air with my knee and the surgery. Not sure what's happening there, but that should be no excuse. We can do something one way or the other.
And that's why we're doing these lives. It's almost like kind of condensed version or abbreviated version of these meetups where every Monday we're going to be on there, and anybody has any questions, pop in. And we're also just going to put these up on our YouTube channel, eBliss Reseller Solution, as a reference.
And we might have guests here and there to come on and
I know.
share their experience and insights.
Yes, totally. All right, so back to the sourcing. Laurie, okay, everyone, please just look at Laurie's face right now.
Oh gosh, why?
Look what I got. A nice polo shirt, Laurie.
Oh, I was going to say, are you wearing the same one?
Yeah,
almost.
I know. Well,
almost the same exact one.
It's so messed up. Okay, I have like 25 to 30 polo shirts. This is a FootJoy nice golf polo shirt that I found today. And of course, look at this shirt I'm wearing. So it's like I'm grabbing this out of the bin, and I'm like, I can't bring this home, because what happens is I bring stuff like this home, and then Laurie's like, well, here we go.
You got to get rid of something.
Yeah. So 25 to 30 shirts. So I have to replace something with this. So anyway,
how many polo shirts does one man need? That's what I need to know.
You never know. It's like handbags and pocketbooks and shoes.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there.
This is an Italian restaurant color. So because if I get
Italian restaurant color,
because if I get red sauce on it.
Yeah. Well,
so
really?
Okay. Yeah, I can never have enough. Anyway, so
True.
But the thing is, I have 25 to 30 polo shirts, but I only wear like 5 of them all the time.
No, I put them in the closet for you, so you wear more than 5.
Okay. All right. Can you read that, Laura?
Angie says, if you don't have it in your head, how does that work? Laurie is the brains and the beauty. Wait, maybe Dave is the brawn. Well, that's true. That's for sure. I don't know about the beauty, but I might attest to the brains. Maybe. I don't know. We both make a good pair.
She sat in the front of the class. I sat in the back. You graduated. What does it say on your diploma? I know you have it up on your wall.
Oh, it's over there. With academic honors.
Okay, mine is here, and mine should say
the 5-year plan?
5.5-year plan. All right. My GPA should not be on there, and thankfully it's not. But
you know what? It doesn't matter. You finished. You did it. That's all that's all that matters.
Exactly. Right. So this is the thing. Like Laurie and I were totally different people. She's like a type A personality. I'm a type C. And we meet in the middle, and we're pretty good at a solid.
Yeah. So we average a B.
We average a B, and we have fun. Yeah. But, and that's the thing with reselling. It's like you need to lean on people to elevate your game. If you're lacking or you're weak in certain areas, I was not organized when it came to reselling. I was just like, grab it, list it, sell it, ship it, and deal with the returns. And
I was going to say, hope that it doesn't come back.
Yeah, it did. I shared last week, like I would just get tubs of electronics and hand it to a 17-year-old that would just, grab it and not look in the battery compartment for corrosion. And it could be a battery that was in there probably for 20 years and that got returned. So sometimes you need some checks and balances.
We've come a long way since then.
Yes. I think Touche was handbags and shoes. I think I came back and got you.
But still, we only have so much space. So just like resellers.
Hello, Terry Lynn. Thanks for hopping in.
Hello.
Say hi to Douglas for us. That's a duo right there. A couple that works together. They were on a Clubhouse the other week. I popped in. They were talking finances and options, and I was like, I passed my Series 7 like 15 years ago, but it was kind of like I just learned it because I had to, but I never practiced it. So they were really talking about strategies, investments, and stuff. So yep. So so Terry Lynn, Laura is part of the co-host for the Pre-Posh Party.
Oh, okay. So, awesome.
Yes, yeah. Very, as many in the room know, like PoshFest is going virtual. It was supposed to be in person, but you know what? It's fine. It's no big deal. I said to one of the Erin, who's another one of the hosts of the party, I said, when we finally all meet together, it's going to be like a long lost family reunion because we're gonna get to know each other even more over the course of a year and stuff. So, In-N-Out Burger S saying, "Hey, hey, eBay all the way." Oof. In class now, LOL. Yeah, so I could keep on clicking. See, this is people coming, and I will do for sure. Yeah, say hi to Douglas. It's just it's cool because you know what, Laurie and I have always been eBay, and ever since we established eBliss, we worked with someone that heavily was involved with Poshmark for years, Alex Marquez, the deal queen, and she helped us really kind of learn a lot of the ins and outs of Poshmark and listing. Can you share with that, Laura? Because you and her, you guys dug in deep when it came to this.
Well, yeah. I mean, before we met her, we didn't actually offer. Like you had to be on eBay in order to use eBliss. So, and that's how we started, and it was okay when we launched originally because that's what we knew, and we felt like, you know what, we're going to put out there what we know best. And so that's how eBliss started. But we've quickly realized that there was a large group of resellers out there who obviously, for whatever reason, and I'm not judging them at all whatsoever, is whatever they sell or whatever they're comfortable with, they only sell on Poshmark, or they sell on Poshmark at other platforms, but they don't sell on eBay for whatever reason. And so she was really instrumental in helping us develop the option. So if we had a potential client who only sold on Poshmark and didn't sell on eBay, and had no interest in selling on eBay at all, they could still use our services. And it's been super, super helpful because we have quite a few clients who are in that boat. And at any given time, if they do want to now sell on eBay, they can do that too. So it's great. They just have to pick either Poshmark or eBay as their primary platform in order for us to be able to take in their items and store them in our warehouse. So it's been a learning experience for us. We're learning new things every day. Do I wish Poshmark was a little bit more advanced in the filtering and that sort of thing? Yeah, that would be awesome. But we figured out a way to make it work. So
yeah, and the thing with many people that sell on other platforms other than eBay, some of whether it's hobbyists or just they enjoy the social component of Poshmark, we've learned and we've heard firsthand that eBay is I don't like saying intimidating, but it stinks. Like it's not fun to list.
It's not that it's not I don't think that's it. There's just so much to it. There's so many options. There's so many ways to sell. There's so many ways to promote your items. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of things you can't do. You just have to know so much. I think that the other platforms are just more simple. They're more streamlined. They don't ask as much, or they don't expect as much of a reseller. Right. eBay is the behemoth that does expect the person who is listing on their platform to know a lot. And if you're just doing it casually, maybe you don't.
And for people that are in the chat or just viewers, Poshmark generates the shipping label for the seller. So they don't have to learn USPS and the most strategic way to send things. Like Laura, like I was talking to Scott this week. I mean, he is like so into it. And he was even saying, now what do I do here with first class and priority? Do I need to my own box for priority? I'm like, I never thought of that. Like these are all the things that we take. It's second nature for us because we've been doing it for years. But for newer sellers, it's so intimidating.
Not even just newer sellers, Dave. You were doing this for a couple of years and still didn't kind of have an understanding of that whole thing. Remember? I mean, you thought it had to be you thought, but, I know you're not laughing at me. I'm not laughing at you, but I do recall that you thought that if it went priority mail, it had to be in a USPS box.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for years. Yeah.
Yes, right. So that, I mean, that made you probably overpay for
Yeah.
shipping for quite some time.
And what's interesting is when I was doing it a couple of years ago, sometimes like every year it's like, oh wait, FedEx is cheaper now. FedEx Smart Post is cheaper. So you definitely
Right.
have that. On our, so anyone who's not following us on Instagram, just check it out. We're trying to post more good content on our Instagram to help resellers, mainly with shipping, because uh, as I shared, like eBay, you almost need to take a course in USPS shipping strategies. I wish I had the graphic to bring up, but we came up with like, and I sent it to my friend last week. But we came up with a schematic, a little matrix of kind of like a yes, no, if yes, no, here, there type of deal, just to work through the how to get the most effective pricing, the most inexpensive at the most expeditious.
It's a general guideline
Right,
for most items that, and the one that we created is actually specific for the bags that we use at eBliss. So that this was really for one of our
yep,
eBliss clients who was kind of new and didn't understand like what they
right,
should be charging for shipping if they didn't want to do calculated shipping.
right,
So that's why that's helpful. And then on top of that, our shippers have even a more expanded version of that, which is zone specific, basically, depending on where it's going in the country. And so you just answer the questions. Does it weigh more than this? Yes or no? If no, then this. And does it, does it fit in this kind of box? Yes or no? And you just go through the whole thing. And this schematic actually tells you what to do. So you don't have to think about it as much. And the time you save with that not thinking while you're shipping is huge.
yeah. It's on one of our Instagram posts. I did it as a story as well, which disappears after 24 hours. But I think I posted it as well. Either it doesn't matter. We're going to still post more stuff like this. Um, yeah, it's just yeah. We're actually I am I don't know how I say how if I could say this, but there are eBay sellers that live in Canada that sell on eBay.com, and what they have to do to actually get their items sent to a buyer in the US is expensive and time consuming. So we're dealing with a couple, actually two Canadian eBay.com sellers that are looking to use us, eBliss, as their storage and fulfillment, which is pretty interesting because talk about not knowing much about USPS shipping. They have to learn it. So
Yeah.
that's why we're creating a lot of these things for them. Um, so yeah, so
So
we're getting yep. Go ahead.
I was just to say, what's that big thing behind you?
The boom
What is that
box.
big? Yeah, no, not that one. The one to your other side. It looks like some, no, the other
Uh,
side.
okay, not my degree, right? Uh, oh, this thing.
No, no,
Okay,
yeah, that thing.
okay. This thing, yeah.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, it looks like
Looks
food.
weird from
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Yes, this is a Bose.
Hmm.
This is a Bose 901 Series 4 speaker. I have two of these. I picked these up 2 weeks ago at the bins. Hold on. So they came out like this. Okay, here's the cover. Oops.
Whoops.
Okay, I'll I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. Um, so two of these came out with the covers on, and I was able to grab them. It was a Saturday morning, not many people there, and these things are like they're like a piece of furniture. When these old 40-year-old speaker systems come out from the 80s plus, the wood grain is like amazing, and then these speakers right here. These are all Bose. Let me bring the camera over. I want to show just how messed up these are. Okay, so all this
Oops,
stuff.
wrong one.
All,
Sorry.
okay, yeah, all this stuff right here. Oh, you can make it just me, right?
Yeah, I think you have to do that.
Okay,
That's what I tried doing and it didn't work. So
okay, never mind.
it's okay.
Okay, so there we go, something like that. So this stuff right here is called it's foam. These need to be refoamed, which people see this and just say, "La, they're so roached, beat up, and they chuck them back into the bin.
Right.
But these things, like this is almost like a rescue project. Like I want to. All right.
But
Enough
now,
of
will you refoam those?
Yes.
Really?
I
Oh,
just I
wow.
just purchased this refoaming kit
Huh.
2 weeks ago from Florida. This was $30 right here. Let me share screen. Uh, uh, check that out. I mean, that's kind of cool. All right, so here we go. Bear with me. I'm just going to share screen. I want to show everyone what these things go for. All right. So there you go. You can make it full screen if you want, I guess, on StreamYard. But
There you go.
so
So that's what they're selling for, but what did they sell? What do they sell for?
well, okay. Well, I brought up what they're currently asking, what they're selling
Oh,
for,
mhm.
because it's going
Whoops.
to be okay. I'm going to scroll a little bit. So check this out. Okay, right here. This is the foam kit I purchased for 35-ish bucks.
Mm-hmm.
This will take me probably 2 to 3 hours to totally refoam all these speakers. Now, I don't necessarily like doing this because, as you know, Laura, like we're about
Yeah.
like volume. We're
Right.
like $30, $40. Boom, boom, boom. I'd rather have 10 $40 items than one
Right.
situation like this.
So let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you just sell them with the kit included and let somebody else do it?
You know what? Oh,
Because most likely anybody who's going to get that may
I
want,
know.
they can do it
I know.
themselves, and then you don't have to waste those 2 to 3 hours. What can you accomplish in 2 to 3 hours otherwise? Is it worth it? Like,
I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I
Like,
don't know.
I guess my question is, what can you sell it for without them refoam versus
Well,
just the kit and it
I
needs to be refoamed?
I could sell right here 2 pairs needs refoam. Read.
Even though
Okay.
that's for parts, so do they even work?
I'm
That's
sure
still
they
$400.
Yeah, that's so somebody's asking 400 needs to be refoamed. If I see now you have me. It's such a dilemma. This is the okay. We'll take this. I mean, we don't need to talk about that right now, but trust me, I don't like projects. I like profits. And I know like Rally Roots. So the Ryan at Rally Roots always said that profits, not projects. And it's true. Like sometimes as resellers, we find something. It's like, well, if I just put some elbow grease in it, or if I just sewed up this hole, on the sweater. Yeah, but you're
But
tight.
sometimes it's worth it, though. I mean, it
Sometimes,
depends on the item. You really got to know your stuff.
yeah,
Sometimes it makes sense to buy the part or the piece or whatever, and to do the work. Sometimes makes sense, and sometimes it doesn't.
right. Okay.
You got to know when it is
I
worth it.
don't I don't know. I don't want to repair this, but mm, I'm not a hoarder. I like to move this stuff. I don't want to hold on to this, but it's been around for a couple weeks and it's kind of getting old looking at it. Have the kit to repair it. You're right. So maybe just I'll package it up like $450 shipped. Now, in last week's episode, we shared on how to take big speakers like this to UPS or FedEx. And
Mhm.
honestly, it's only like $25 each to
Plus the
to sh-
label.
plus the label, right? So $50 just for them to pack these up professionally and be responsible to making sure they get wherever they are. Plus the shipping label is probably going to be another $50. So yeah, so
$75 all in for one speaker or for both?
no, I would say probably for both. I would say this is like it depends on where it's going, obviously. So
True.
so yeah, and um,
Yeah, and just a little note, when you do sell those big, really heavy items that you know are going to cost a lot, one really good tip is when you're listing it is to do one or two things or both, is to create a surcharge for certain areas. So if somebody in Alaska or Hawaii or Puerto Rico or the US protectorates or someplace like that want to buy those speakers, and you have not taken that into consideration, you might get killed on the shipping. And that can happen really on anything, really, but it really only happens for us on these really big, heavy things. So you can go in and create a surcharge. You can create, it's called a shipping table in eBay, where you can add for those people only extra shipping. So you can basically cover the extra cost that it's going to take to get to those places. Now, whenever we do that, we also do exclude the protectorates, which is like Guam and the Philippines and the places that are even farther than Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, because you have no option if you ship through eBay to go through priority USPS. And if you can't get that in a flat rate box, it is going to be so expensive to ship. So then you're probably better off going off to UPS, like Dave mentioned, and do it just separately, because they might get you a better rate. So.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm just going to keep on going, pulling up my mini haul, but go ahead.
But you brought up the comment of profits, not projects, from Mystery Diva Divers. You should make that a t-shirt. I don't know if we can, because I don't know if we said it first, but
yeah, we could.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true. No doubt about that. So, all right. Today at the bins, I went, they had a bunch of CDs and books came out, and I grab CD collections just because whatever these are.
Box sets,
that's it. This is Steely Dan. Now, every time I hear Steely Dan, I fall asleep. But I woke up real quick when I looked up how much they go for. I don't, just letting everybody know, this is like $40. These are 4 CDs in a box, clean, easy, and I think you could ship it media mail too.
That's what I was just going to say. I think you can. But if somebody really wants that, they're probably not going to want it shipped media mail. Yeah. So anytime we list anything that could go media mail, we always put a second option. We always say, hey, we'll do it media mail for free, but if you want it sent priority mail or first class or whatever the next level is, you can pay an extra whatever to have that done. And that way the buyer gets to choose. And I think that's a really good thing. I mean, some sellers do that for everything. They have the basic one for free, and then they upgrade the shipping. Not a bad idea. We tend to just do it with media mail, but not a bad idea to do it on everything.
And plus, it's an extra way to, upcharge or upsell, whatever it is. Some people charge like $9 USPS priority, when in essence it's really only $7.50 or $8. Like, right. We're talking pennies, but it's a strategy that some people do use, especially for media mail. Definitely, I've seen that. A lot of people, because
media mail is so slow. Might as well upgrade it. You can.
Okay. I'm going to keep on going unless you want to jump in with any super technical questions answers. But if anybody has any questions, just drop them down below. There's no question that is not a good question.
Only the one that's not asked, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why you sat in the front of class and he got A's.
I didn't always get A's. Just my last semester, I got straight A's in college. I was pretty proud of that.
I think I got one.
My last semester of college, I got straight A's. Who does that? Usually it's like, it's like you blow off all your classes and stuff.
I think I got one. I got 1 A in college. Actually, 2 A's in college.
I
let's
remember.
not go there.
It's not. We took those classes together, didn't we?
Hey, that's one of the most proudest moments of my life, getting through college. So it's not really how, come on, it's not pretty, but I got over some adversity there.
This is a good one.
This is you like this one?
Is that the one you told me about before?
Yes.
Okay. Then I like that one.
You do?
Yes.
Well, why?
Well, because it looks just like a regular radar detector, right? It's just a run-of-the-mill radar detector. I'd love to know what people think it's worth. Just off the note, don't Google, don't if you put in the comments, what do you think this radar detector is worth? And what's the brand? Let's give them that.
You know what? This guy right here knows. Look at this guy. I know
he might know.
He's gonna chime in.
Yes.
All I need to do is say, Mr. Larry, look at this. He knows.
He's going to win the prize, probably.
He's going to. If he could tell us $1.
Nah.
Oh, I
Oh,
purchase it maybe for $1, but what does it sell for?
right. What can we sell it for on eBay these
Yeah,
days?
and look, boop, 250, Mr. Larry. He wins. He knows his stuff.
Now he's pretty close. Yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Hmm.
Um, it's very interesting. Um,
And that is
I,
not $2.50.
no, that's 250. 125, maybe. Remember the passports and the whistlers? Remember, I don't know. You never needed them. Your
Not me.
your car didn't go over 50 back in college.
I think you're right.
1979 Datsun
Datsun
310 GX.
310. Yep. Yeah.
Meanwhile, do you want to?
You were driving the 300ZX,
Oh
Nissan
yeah,
300ZX. Yeah.
and that caught your eye, didn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, that's like the most. That's horrible. Now I find this out 30 years later. It's because of the car. Anyway, so
Back to the subject.
And Larry 250 nailed it. That's exactly what they go for. This is crazy, man. I mean, this is what happens at the bins. Somebody's house gets cleared out in an estate sale, and they dump everything. Check
And
this
they have
out.
no idea that it's worth anything, and they don't have the wherewithal to make to benefit from it.
All right. I have to show this. The original receipt was in there from 1997.
Oh wow.
Within $50, Laura, how much do you think it went for?
$50, $99.
All right.
I'm guessing. What does it say? I can't see.
$416.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's still worth $250.
I don't get
however
it.
many
I
years
really
later.
don't.
That is crazy.
Actually, what's funny, Laura, is when I was out in Vegas with our friend Mr. Larry, who popped in and got it right. He was still sleeping, and I called an Uber at like 8:00 in the morning to pick me up from Harrah's and take me to the flea market in North Las Vegas. And you know me at flea markets, like it was great, making piles. And I came back with all these bags, and he goes, "Oh, how'd you do? What'd you get?" And I didn't know, but I grabbed a Valentine 1 radar detector.
Oh gosh.
Without the power cord. It was just the unit.
Right.
And he's like, "Those are 240. I can make it work. I could solder it. And he knew everything. So it's no wonder why he's in there. He's going to get it. He was more excited than I was. I was like, I might just blow it out for 100. He goes, no, people. And sure enough, it sells quick. It's just yeah.
Was that the first one you ever had gotten of that brand? Because I know other certain radar detectors do sell fairly quickly and for decent money. Maybe not that high, but
yeah, that's the most expensive I've ever had. This is the second one ever, and this is in the original box. So
that's crazy.
250, 300, whatever. But
wow.
that's why we resell, right? It's like I always say,
you never know what you're going to find.
It's like scratching off. Speaking about scratch off lottery tickets, our friend Mr. Larry loves that. I don't know why he needs to scratch off lottery tickets when he's going and he's reselling. I always say finding stuff to resell. It's like getting a scratch off lottery ticket, because you get down and you crouch low and you look it up on your phone and you're like, oh my gosh.
But it's even better because you know ahead of time whether it's the winner or loser.
Yeah,
right?
You don't have to. Right. I think we're probably all like gamblers at heart, all of us resellers. I'm bringing these comments up. I don't know if these are R-rated or PG or G. I'm afraid to read this one. They could be traded in for credit to Valentine 1 in any condition toward with a new one. They always have a value.
How much are the new ones going for?
Oh,
you have the original receipt.
From 1997. I can't even do the math. Is that 14 years or 24 years?
That's got to be 24 years.
It's 24. Whatever you think.
And I'm not good at math either, so
I know.
All I know is we've been married for 26 this year. We were married in 1995. So
just whatever it is, add a decade. Laurie and Dave, you have a great call. Thank you, Terry Lynn. That's very nice. We appreciate that. Sweet. We're very humble about what we do, but we have a lot of passion and excitement working together. And like they always say, you start a business to make a difference. And that's why we did this.
Yeah, so we hope we do.
Yes, Patrick Murphy. Yes, was on Paul's Philly Flipper chiming in. I was on his live last night. Sent me this. Yeah, why hello. Yes, Patrick sent me to say hello and light up that. Yeah, it's it's a really fun community. Everybody's just like has such skill. Like Patrick, his live last night, he had the other guy, the Horizon picks, like made a comment about us with the earbuds, sharing the earbud and like and stuff like that. He went to Rutgers as well. I found out last night, but these guys have such a unique niche too. That's why reselling is so cool because everyone sells such different things. Like I have no desire. I was speaking to someone earlier who's like, "Oh, do you find any handbags and stuff at the bins?" I'm like, "Yeah, I probably could, but they just don't excite me, so I don't."
Not only do they not excite you, you don't know enough about them right now. Like you could learn more about them if you really wanted to, but we all have a certain amount of bandwidth that we can manage in our heads. Like,
Yeah.
I remember going to the flea market with you and walking around. I'm like, I know there's money everywhere. Like, but I don't know enough about tools or this or that to be able to
Tell
make
me
it
about
worth my while
it.
to try to buy it to resell it, and I'm always in awe of people who have really fun, exciting, neat niches that they go for that one thing and they know so much about it. And it must be so much fun. I mean, but that's not us. We're a little bit more broad and we just, know a little about a lot.
Well, we share this. I started out with Larry, who's in the chat. He and I were going to auctions, like equipment auctions, like big heavy things. Now this is hilarious. This is how it all started. We went to an auction down the street from a Goodwill outlet, and it was an online auction. I was doing, I think I did most of the bidding. And Larry's like the next day, how do we do? Like, cause he told me like, bid on this. And I said, we won like 5 things, but one thing I think is valuable, but I have no idea how big it is. And we went there. Oh, check this out. We
Oh,
went there. This thing that we won was over 1,000 pounds. It was over that. And I had our minivan. And I looked at Larry. I said, "We're in trouble because we have to get this out of here within a day." So I think we were like, "Oh, what do we do?" So we were like tucking it. We were pushing it, like putting like we wanted to kind of hide it. Like, oh, it was bad.
did it fit in the minivan?
No, we couldn't even. It was impossible. You needed like a
A
forklift to
box
put it
truck?
in.
Oh my
Something.
gosh. What did
Something.
you end up doing?
Somebody there, we're like, "Hey man, you want this?" They're like, "How much you want for it?" We're like, "It's good. We don't worry about it."
Just gave it away.
Yeah, we won it for like $150, $200, but it
Oh,
would have cost us like hundreds
right.
to get. So, and we were like, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
So, it just so happened it was down the street from the Kearney outlet. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I'll see you later, Larry. I'm going to go up here. And I was hooked. I went into
Oh,
that store and I found I think I found like a North Face for like, $2. And I was like, wait, I could get these and sell them for 40 or 50 on eBay. Like I'd rather take that because they don't weigh 1,000 pounds. So Mr. Larry says we would have been penalized money if we left it there. That is very true. We were panicking. We were like, it was bad. So
But Dave, I remember that day. I think I remember the day you came home and told me about the bins. You were trying to explain how it worked and what they did and all this stuff. And it was mind-boggling just to hear about it.
yeah,
And then I don't know how many years later I experienced it for myself.
I think
You were
yeah,
right.
I think you're like, what, and you're biting your nails after you went there. Ugh. I remember you're freaking out. Honestly, when I went to the bin, the crazy thing is, this was 2014. Speaking of Mr. Larry, who's in the chat, I came down with the worst flu ever. I think I had COVID-1. It was so bad because I was breathing in all this stuff, and he and we went to see the Eagles in California, not the football Eagles, but
Right.
the group,
The band.
the group band. And I was like, oh, it was.
So that was right after you went to the bins for the first
Yeah.
time?
Yep. It was
Really?
like a
Oh, I
month.
don't.
Yeah. It was a
Wow, I didn't
month
remember that.
after I discovered the bins.
Huh.
I came down with COVID-1.
And you've been good ever since. You got some immune system now, right?
I would say so.
Nothing can touch you now.
I mean, I do wear gloves when I dig in the bins.
You should. And I used to wear eye protection because crazy things could happen. You could
see people grab like weed whackers and people like getting chopped up.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Go to the bins. If some people love it, some people can't stand it.
After you get through, I used to go with you when we were doing everything together, I used to have to get over the thought that what I was doing every morning, like I had to get over that. But the ones I did, then it was fine. I'm like, oh, this is good. But the very initial part of it was like, ugh. But yeah.
It says Rutgers, the State University School of Management. I should.
What are you asking? What are you asking? I don't see it.
No, my diploma. I was saying I really want to put a sticker over that. I now major in garbage picking. Seriously, because that's what I feel like.
Well, that's what I was going through my head when I was going through the bins in the morning.
It's rough.
I had to get over that. I didn't want to say that, but
yes, yeah. You want to?
It's not for everyone. That's for sure.
If you want to see a fish out of water, that guy right there, he comes in to say hello to me, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is gross," but he spots things. He goes, That's a Bissell steamer. Wait, it's incomplete, but yeah. So it's and his reselling. I don't like his reselling like model. It's just like he doesn't do clothes, but it doesn't interest me. Like that's what's so cool. I can't see myself doing fashion. I appreciate it. And then like Mr. Larry, he does a lot of unique, specialized things, but reselling higher items. We're just bread and butter, 30, 40, 50. Yeah. Okay. Shane plug. Patrick Murphy did a video about the bins. So go to his YouTube, check it out. They don't allow us to take photos or videotape.
That's true.
Remember that?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. I'm like, how did you get away with it? He's like, I do it very indiscreetly because I know I'm not supposed to do
Who's
it.
that, me?
Yeah, I'm like, because I've seen videos from the bins before from you.
Yeah, like I'm hooked. I'm doing like Instagram stories. Like I'm sitting there, 30 minutes in between rotations. I'm like, let me do an Instagram story on yay or nay if this is good to sell. Let me do an Instagram story. It's fun. I really enjoy it.
But you enjoy the people too. Over however many years you have been going there. I mean, you've been going there many years. You learned there's a camaraderie. You always say it's like being back in high school, right? I guess I think that's what you've said.
I don't
know. Feel like you're in high school. Like it's, you had your buddies, it's like, it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
So
the bins have it all.
True. But in the beginning, sorry, go ahead.
No.
No, I was gonna say, I remember that in the beginning you were so protective of what we did. Gosh. So protective of what we were paranoid.
I'm a neurotic East Coaster at heart, and it's taking years for me to get over that.
Exactly. So this is how I don't know. I mean, hopefully I'm not giving anything away, but I thought it was hysterical when you used to tell people that you shared an account with 3 people. Because you would buy so much stuff and they would be like, what are you doing with it all? What do you do? And you wouldn't like own up to the fact that you were a reseller and this is what you do for a living. And this is how you pay your bills. And this is what you do 24/7. You wouldn't own up to it, but now you have. So you have come a long way in that regard. You really have.
It's my paranoia. It was true. Yeah. Like I share this all the time. Like when I first went to the bin that one day and that couple of weeks following that auction with the 1,000-pound item with Laurie, I thought I stumbled upon like reselling, like used items.
You thought you had discovered reselling.
Almost. I didn't, because at the time reselling wasn't like a buzzword, like on YouTube and all this stuff. It really wasn't out there. I didn't know what there were so many terms to be used at the time. But I thought I really was like, look at this. This is amazing. This is great. So Patrick said, there you go. Good. That's cool.
Awesome. Cool. Either way works. You just got to be a little bit more careful when you do sell similar.
You
in
want
my
to get it?
opinion.
You want to get into that? If
Yeah.
okay,
Oh.
yeah. Well, we taught we spoke. Laurie spoke about that, like relisting as opposed to selling similar on eBay.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, I
why
know there's a, yeah.
now why would somebody even do either of those? What's the whole purpose behind that?
Well, because when you have a list, because eBay likes active accounts. They like activity. They like things to move. They like things to be new and fresh. And if you sell a one off item and your store is full of one off items and you just let it sit, there's going to, it kind of, the way I think of it is it weighs your store down. It's like an anchor. So if you end your listings every 30 days, like they used to do when we had 30-day listings and not go till canceled for every fixed price listing, you're basically replicating that same idea. And so it works, in our opinion, for one-off listings. It doesn't work as well for multi-quantity listings because eBay likes to see that you have sold that item more than one time. So it's like the opposite for multi-quantity versus one-offs. So when they switched from good till canceled, from the 30-day, and actually I think there used to be 10-day, 7-day, right? And then 30-day was the most. Because we track all our numbers, we know our inventory turnover rates and all that stuff. And we saw a huge dip, not a huge, it was a significant dip in our inventory turnover rates when we just let our stuff go and just automatically relist every 30 days. I know a lot of other sellers don't agree or don't see it, but it really depends on what you sell, how much competition you have for that particular item. But we just, as a general rule, make it a thing to just end our listings every 30 days and make a new listing. It gets a new listing number. I don't really care about watchers or anything like that because I feel like, you know what, you had your chance. If you didn't buy it, you probably weren't going to buy it anyway. So
yeah, and we had data to back it up. That was the most important thing. We saw, as Laurie said, this drop, like immediate, like a plummet, and like kind of flattened like the floor. And then once we relisted and did that approach, it was like boom, it brought it back up, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
I always say like that promotional, the promotional rate. What's the technical term on eBay? You know how you
promoted listings?
Promoted listings. Yeah, see, you know all the terms. The promoted listings rate, I always say, is like taking a multivitamin. It might help, it might not. But you know what? You'll never know. But it doesn't hurt to do it. So
a lot of people don't, and they still sell stuff. Don't know what they would have sold it if they had it. It's hard to say.
I spoke to somebody today at the bins that said they jacked up their promoted listing rate to 5%.
From what?
I don't know.
Oh.
Assume zero. I don't.
Okay. So they had none, and then they do it 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were like, I need to juice my account. Like, this is crazy. So they popped it. They went to 5, and they saw a spike, a little bit of a pop, whatever. Who knows if it works? But that didn't work for us. Like you and I, just everyone in the chat. We have 2 eBay accounts. We each run one, and they have the same type of listings on them. Oh gosh, you're giving my store away. This is horrible. I'm gonna get lowball.
I know, like you didn't want you never would have told people that.
I can handle it. I'm all grown up now. So each of our accounts very similar, same type of items. What I did on my account, this is a month ago. We went from promoted rate. What's it called again? Promoted rate.
Promoted listings.
All right. That's why you got the A's and I got the passing grades. Promoted listing rate, I popped on my account up to 5. I'm like, we need to do something. We need to, because the summer slowdown, whatever you want to call it, it was like real. Our sales were down 25, 30%. We're like, we've never seen anything like this. And honestly, we jacked mine up 5%. I don't think we saw any difference.
We didn't. Maybe it needed to be 10. I don't know.
No, thanks.
I know. I know.
It's trust me. Unless we've raised all the prices and stuff,
right?
Then you play that game. I know if people like to do.
Yeah.
Either way, so that's the good thing about having good data and knowing it. So we are going on an hour. We could go for another maybe 10 minutes. If anybody has any questions, just pop it in. I'm gonna bring this in. Patrick brings up a good point.
It says I took away my quantities on one item and relist it after a sale to increase activity on an item, and it seemed to work. Interesting.
Yep.
So you made a multi-quantity listing single quantity and then relisted it after it sold. Yeah, I could see that working. Yeah, absolutely. Because eBay, like the algorithm or whatever it's called, is so mysterious. You know, the way I see it, or the way I believe, and this is probably true. This is really all I know, is that activity is what they like to see. So whatever gets you the activity is what you got to do, and that might vary for different people.
It's true, and it doesn't matter what kind of activity. Everyone.
Well, I think there is a hierarchy of activity. So they're not all equal. I
Well,
think sales is
that's
at the highest of the list. What?
that's a teaser for next week. Write that down. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's sales. I'm being goofy. Sales.
Oh no, sales is like the number one thing that begets sales beget other sales.
All right.
And so how do you get sales? Listings are the next, I think, are the next thing.
Okay.
You know, making changes to your listing, updating your listings. That's another thing. You know, people swear that they, change the titles, move pictures around, even if they didn't actually change anything. It's just you're in your listing, you're active.
Right.
eBay likes to see that. And then there's all sorts of other things where you could be doing, using the tools that they like you to do, coupons and the promoted listings and markdown manager and all these things that they have as options, to take advantage of those. Who knows? And then, of course, then those are just the main things, that activity that you could be doing in your listings to boost your results. Now, there's a whole nother conversation we can have about what your listings actually contain and what they look like and what they promote, what they put out there. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So
this is what we talk about when we go home, and Laurie rolls her eyes and say, "Can I watch TV without being bothered?" And I don't.
Or read my book, or do the dishes, or do laundry, or whatever I have to do.
I don't do anything other than think and worry. Think and contemplate and strategize. I don't know. I can't shut it down.
I don't know how you do it though, because we work all day, and at the end of the day, my head hurts. Like I have to just disconnect.
Yeah, but you work 100% all day. I work 70%.
Oh,
so
well, there you go.
All right. One last. Thanks for letting me hang. One last shameless plug. I will be on the Johnny Cajun Roots Reseller at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I assume that's tomorrow, but go check out Patrick's. If you show up, make him let him know Patrick sent you. Yep, will do. And I think that's cool. Like I've noticed this recently. I'm the YouTuber. I'm more like the Instagram. I'm more social media. The guy who never did social media ever.
I was gonna say.
I could see how it's fun, addicting, and productive. And like some of the connections, whether it's like Patrick and all these other, Terry Lynn, Deneen, all these people. I could go Angie. I don't want Sarah. You could go on and on. We wouldn't have known and got to know these people and their business, their skill set, whatever. The networking is huge. So I would definitely follow people, follow more resellers on YouTube, and find the content you like. Some people are just strictly entertaining. They wear a GoPro, they go out to garage sales, flea markets, and that's kind of like fun. I like that. And then there's the geek out sessions where people talk about, what's it called again? Promotional listings, promotional ratings,
promoted listings.
If you're into that, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
this was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. One last question. Are you still doing the podcast? No, we stopped that. Sebastian is pursuing some other ventures. He's a great guy. Definitely follow him on Instagram. Laurie and we're doing this YouTube live on Mondays. This is our new content that we're putting out there. This is going to be strictly, whatever we have on our little thumbnail. It's going to be talking about reselling. Sebastian and I talked about a lot of things. Life, I always say life, liberty, and the pursuit of eBay. But it was just a lot of philosophizing about life and concepts, and really good guy. So glad that he worked with us and we met up with him. And so definitely follow him. Freedom and Fatherhood is his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. You too. Yeah. And, and thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. It just comes down to passion. We always say this: if you have passion in what you do and you want to help other people, that's what it's. That's the only our intention with this. So we do these lives to kind of impart what we've learned over the weeks, months, years prior to this, to help you inspire you in reselling and any other things. And the forum is great because it allows questions to pop in that this is not rehearsed. I mean, we go into this thing and saying, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'll show some haul. I still have like 10 more things I could show you, but I'll just carry it over until next week. But I think what we'll do is we'll wrap it up here because I know there's some other YouTube lives out there that are very good. So stay in the community, follow people, and
we'll see you next week.
yes, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.